Hello, Eagles fans. I'm Chris McPherson, and this is a very special interview for me right here, okay?
Aw.
It's our good friend Colleen Wolfe, okay? She used to be in Philadelphia covering the team. She's now with NFL Network doing big things, but how often do you have two Drexel alumni on the same stage?
This is so cool. Like, I feel like this is Bizarro world just in general this entire week because all of my worlds are colliding. The fact that the Eagles are here, I've been talking about them. I talk about them all the time because you guys know I'm a huge homer.
Yes, of course.
And the fact that they're here right now, I feel like I've been vindicated. I'm like, yeah, see, I told you.
What has it been like on the NFL Network studios all throughout the course of the season? You're hosting a slew of shows, so have you kind of brought the Eagles fandom into NFL Network?
So on game day morning and Good Morning Football weekend, Saturday and Sunday, it's me and Mike Garafolo is on the show too.
Also
so
a Philly connection
Philly
right
guy.
there.
And so, I mean, right there, it's like 50% of our show is Philadelphia-centric. And in fact, before the NFC Championship game, we were doing our show, and all of our producers are Eagles fans too, the crew, because it's in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, which is 20 minutes away from Philadelphia. Everybody, they're just all huge Eagles fans. And so our boss came in during our first break with a Vikings helmet on and was like, you guys, this is not an Eagles pregame show. Like, do I have to keep reminding you of that? And we were like, doesn't matter, sorry, it's our show right now, bye.
It never happens. It never happens for Eagles fans. It's always the national media against us. It's Philadelphia versus everybody, so it's about time that we infiltrate and took things over.
Yeah, and like the dog mask thing and the underdog. I was just saying to one of the other stations, the whole underdog mentality, it's so awesome that finally something was sort of, it wasn't given to the Eagles from the outside. It wasn't something that they were labeled with.
Certainly.
It was something that they came up with, and it was organic, and it suits them so well. And it's just like, it's one of my favorite parts of this whole thing because you have Nick Foles and you have Doug Peterson, and everybody is such an underdog in this. And who doesn't love an underdog, right?
Of course not.
Especially, I love an underdog.
It better be true. I feel like at this point the Eagles have sort of become the national team, so to speak, which is really weird for Eagles fans to have everyone supporting them. So,
yes,
hint,
I
hint,
know.
see?
Yeah, it really is. It's funny because so many people are like, well, I'm not necessarily an Eagles fan, but the Patriots, they've been there so many times, and maybe let's mix it up a little bit. Like, that'd be cool. Maybe somebody else could win for once, huh, Patriots?
As a lifelong fan, how special will it be to come against the Patriots, especially after what happened in 2004?
That's one of the other weird parts of this, the fact that the Eagles are back and they're playing the Patriots again. I mean, I was just a minute ago over your shoulder, T.O. was just sitting next to us, and every time I see him, I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine what this feels like for him. To be at a Super Bowl and it's Eagles and Patriots, it must be kind of surreal. And I feel like it is for me, but this team, I think, is a lot better than that team that played the Patriots before.
Even after all the injuries, you would say that.
Even after all the injuries, which is such a testament to what the front office has done with the roster and the way that they built it up, and Howie getting Jay Ajayi when everybody was like, whoa, where did that come from?
Exactly.
And Jason Peters goes down. It's like, oh, my God, well, I don't know how they're going to deal with that. Like, he's amazing. And Big V steps in. I could Halapuli Vati Vaitai.
It's not that
Nailed
difficult.
It. Right,
but it's funny that throughout the NovaCare complex, they have the different video boards of how the players are performing.
Yeah.
They don't even say Halapuli Vaitai in the building. It's Big V.
Really?
They just put Big V on the video board. So even the players among themselves
streamlined.
do it. Exactly.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's efficient.
It's been amazing to watch them, like, guys go down and the next man up mentality is so awesome with them. And then just to see Nick Foles, the way that he's sort of developed through these games, and especially the postseason against the Falcons, he was totally different. The game plan was so different than against the Vikings. And as soon as he started letting it rip, I was like, whoa, Nick Foles? Oh my God, that flea flicker?
But you've seen it though. But you've seen it
I know,
before.
like,
That's the thing.
Oh my God, that's old-timey Nick Foles. I know him. I remember him.
Old-timey. 4 years ago, it's old-timey.
Old-timey
That's how
Nick
crazy.
Foles. I know.
What do you think it's going to have to take for the Eagles to finally get over the hump here? We saw what happened in 2004, and they came up just a few points short. Why do you think, or what has to happen for it to be different this time around?
They have to be absolutely perfect, and they cannot let up at all in this game. They cannot turn the ball over, because if they let the Patriots get a hold of good field position, that is going to be the end of them. They have to do everything as well as they've done all season and not let the Patriots come back like they always seem to do. I mean, even when they played the Jaguars, I was like, I can't believe the Jags have this on lock. And then all of a sudden, I'm like,
Flip
they did
the
it to me again. I know. Yeah. So they have to get after Tom Brady. And the fact that they have such depth on the defensive line, and the fact that they can have fresh guys and roll them in and bring them in waves, I mean, that is such an important thing for them, and that's crucial in getting after Brady.
All right, Colleen, so 8.5 hours of pregame coverage on NFL Network.
Yeah.
How much of it will be devoted to the Eagles?
8 hours.
That's fair enough.
Solid 8 hours.
I think
we'll
we
give
can
like 30 minutes to the Patriots.
Well, that's been the story all week, is Tom Brady and the dynasty and the mystique and all that. Finally some time for the Eagles.
That's all I keep hearing about. Even Justin Timberlake, like in his press conference, all he did was talk about the Patriots. And I was like, oh, really? Okay, so I'm gonna counterbalance this, because I'm just like Justin Timberlake, and I am going to talk about the Eagles.
There we go.
Yeah, it works.
Colleen Wolfe, NFL Network, continued success. Thank you so much for joining us here as we continue our coverage from Radio Row in Minneapolis here on PhiladelphiaEagles.com.